Welcome to Puro Pinche Sports. I'm your host, Jose Garza, and tonight we are talking some football. Guys, the games, conference championships, emotions rode high, felt very low at the end, most likely for all of us. But how are y'all doing tonight?
Shit, I'm doing good. Good. That was a good weekend of football. Two good games.
Who?
Now we got Now we got that long break to the Super Bowl, and then another long break till regular season. But yeah, feeling good.
I tell you.
Yeah, man. It was some good football. Um, one game was a good defensive battle, and the other game it was a shootout. So it was pretty cool.
Man, sometimes when you go watching these games, man, you can get really mad, right? You can get really upset. Like Jeff, you understand, like you see Dak out there and you're like you internally you want him to do good, right? Because it's your team and you want him to succeed. But then when he just fails you and you have that expectation, like, again, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, damn, bro, I'm not just mad, I'm fucking disappointed. And that's right now how I kind of feel with Lamar. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
I'm not really mad at you for like your performance and how it all went. I'm disappointed, man. Like it was so much expectations to have, Jeff. What did you think like overall? We saw the Chiefs kind of dominate essentially the Ravens 17-10. Honestly, it never felt close. What were your thoughts on that, man?
Man, I was surprised. I thought it was gonna be the other way around, right? I thought the Ravens D was gonna limit Patty, right? And they came off and scored. Uh, when Casey's passed up that field goal, it was like they were like on the 35 or something. And they passed up taking the field goal. They went for it on fourth. I was like, damn, that was a big mistake. Get those points, but it's like they knew they were gonna be able to stop the Ravens offense, and I don't know how you can know that. But
Yeah,
man, they just limited Lamar even on his runs. They weren't like too long, right? Like they were like 10, 15 yards. They didn't let him just run all over him. And they did contain him and make him throw. And then, I think Lamar played as good. I mean, he could have played better, right? But again, another turnover on the half-yard line that would have been a touchdown, right? It just didn't work out for him, and it was I wanted to root for Lamar. All the haters come out when he doesn't win. They start
yeah.
talking about the only wins he got right against it's not a great record of his wins in the playoffs. Second time he's the 1 seed, didn't make it to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I wanted him to get it done just to shut everybody up and then to get it over with, right? So we can just play some football. But yeah, I guess it was disappointing for the Ravens as a whole. Even I just thought they were gonna do better than what they put out there on Sunday.
Alex, you love defense as much as the next person out there, bro. And I think you essentially almost had two masterclass of defenses on that game, right? Ravens more or less in the second half. They really shut out Patrick Mahomes on the offense, but the Chiefs in general, the whole game really disrupted and made Lamar, Zay, Odell's, everyone's game uncomfortable. What did you think about the defenses, man? What did they do in your mind that stood out like from past performances?
I think with the KC side, I honestly don't think that the DBs played as great. I really thought that the D line got to Lamar, and the DBs actually look good, because they're basically not getting anything thrown their way, or getting really tested, as what I like to put it.
Yeah,
Um, Other than, or like they played man coverage, and they played spy at some point at a linebacker, and I was kind of disappointed with Lamar, because I would have thought he would have took off a little bit more, because even though they had spies, Lamar was getting around them,
yeah.
um, and still breaking for more yards. Uh, Other than that, man, I mean, KC they played well. I would have liked more if Lamar would have if he would have had a little bit more time. But Casey's defensive line was just on one, and not to take anything away from Casey's defensive line, but you know the Baltimore's offensive line did look sus, throughout the game. and then going to the Baltimore side of the ball, the defense. Um, I thought KC played it great. They knew that this Baltimore's defense was going to be flying around. So perfect game plan. Let's do quick game. Let's run the ball. Let's get the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hand quick. And you saw they weren't taking a lot of deep shots either. So I know I said on the thread too, like they're just moving the ball quick and nothing
Yeah.
over 10 yards. And then second half, they adjusted and you saw it. I think they had like 66 or something like that yards in the second half, and then they they threw one over the top to basically over to seal it. And yeah, man, it was tough. And then going back to the Lamar Jackson interception, the first one, I mean the second one, he just underthrew it. I really thought likely, even though likely was covered by three, if he would have had a just touched it over, he would have scored. But he just underthrew it. All the DBs were underneath. There was nobody over the top.
I feel
That's why he
well.
essentially had his hand up.
Well, he had his hand up, but he was also trying to sell like a hit because he got hit like literally before the ball reached over
Yeah.
to him. There was contact. The ref chose not to call any interference on that, which, depending on how you feel about it, like it could have been, it could have gone either way, right? Like if you got a flag, you got a flag. If you don't, either way, I still think the decision to throw it was poor. Triple coverage. I mean, Isaiah
Mhm.
likely is a big man, but that's just something you don't do. You don't need to do it. You're moving the ball well at that on that drive, and it just feels like you're just forcing it. And it's the similar way I feel about Zay Flowers' attempt to go for the second touchdown, right? He got the big 53-yard gain. Obviously, he gets called back 15 yards because of taunting. Let the guys taunt, guys. It's playoff football. This game's emotional as fuck. We could talk about a lot of things that could have been called, between Travis Kelce, Roquan, and all that shit. But overall, like, I feel like in the end, the Ravens came out short because they didn't come in with that championship mentality, right? The Chiefs have been there. They've done that 6 straight, AFC championship games led by, Spagnuolo, Reed, Mahomes, Kelsey. Like they knew what to do. They were mentally ready. You kind of saw that with the pregame warmups with that whole thing with Justin Tucker, right? Like they had that edge to them. They knew that this, they're not gonna lay down for this shit. Like everyone expects them to lose. Everyone's picking the Ravens. Like, all right, motherfuckers, let's show what we got. What I didn't like, Jeff, is the 82% drop back coverage, bro. Like, why is Lamar throwing so much? Like 6 design runs, I think 10 were scrambles, so that was 16 total. But dude, like I'm thinking, like you ran 42 times on the Texans, right? Like
Mhm.
you averaged like nearly 40, like or more, like rushing attempts the whole season. Jeff, I'm just disappointed in the Ravens, man. It's just one of those things. I mean, we're all fathers here, right? Like we all know. I'm just disappointed in you, my child, dude. That's all it is. But
Yeah.
but speak to me about. I mean, you put on the text thread. Mahomes is GOAT. I mean, obviously, I feel like you have big admiration for him, not as much as Marco, but I mean, overall, like, how do you feel like so far Mahomes' performance this postseason compares to the others?
Yeah, it's very impressive. I am, I guess, I support Patrick Mahomes. I think they're kind of become the villain now or whatever. But yeah, like it's crazy, right? Because even last year, right, they won with a transitional team, right? Hill
Yeah.
left. They was like he even said it's supposed to be a rebuild year, and they go and take it. And then this year, I mean, in the middle of the season, they just did not look like they were clicking. Again, they looked like they didn't have a receiver to throw to. And then playoff. They make playoffs, and then they look dominant, right? That we all said the defense was coming alive, but we just didn't have faith. Even though Patty's there in the back, it just seemed like he had no one to throw through besides Kelsey and Rice. So
Right.
to do what he did now on the road, 2 road games, and to make it to the Super Bowl, it's very impressive.
Yeah.
And but you got to give it to you got to. It's all the way around. It's KC, right? The coaching. Andy Reid, the defensive coordinator, they came together and they're a championship team now, right? And they played like it. But yeah, you got to give a lot of credit to Patty. He sharpened up his game. He used to always just want to throw downfield. They finally got him in his head. Hey, we can win without throwing down the field every damn play, right? We don't have to go for the home run every play, and it took him a while to adjust to that. And now it just seems like he knows the game. And like Alex said, they're playing with that confidence, or I think you said it'll say with that edge. And you can see it. They've been there before. You can tell the situation. There's nothing to like. You're right. They don't panic. Right. It just comes to them like that pass to seal the game. Like it's just like they just know what to do and when to do it. Right. They don't throw downfield all game and boom to seal the game. Boom, 30-yard pass. But yeah, it's very impressive what Mahomes done. 6 AFC championships. Now he's going to his 4th Super Bowl. It's crazy, right? It's like, to me, he's a quarterback that, I haven't seen before. He came off the bat just throwing all crazy and, just wild. And he's really has come and like even sharpened up his play even better. But yeah, like as far as I understand about what you're talking about the Ravens, and I am disappointed, and I think I'm disappointed in the whole team. I'm not just disappointed in Lamar. Besides that throw to triple coverage, I thought he played pretty well. And yeah, like there was contact on that play, right? And I get it. The ref saw that. Hey, the ball did come like a second later, and he was covered by 3 guys. But that DB or that safety or whatever didn't really he didn't even have to touch him. I think it would have been picked, right? Because it was underthrown.
Yeah.
So I think the right call there would have been to call the pass interference because he did hit him before the ball got there. But yeah, as far as I think the Ravens just kind of outsmarted themselves. They didn't stick to their guns with the running game. It just seems like they were supposed to be the favored, better team, and they didn't play like it. They played scared, and they just they whooped San Francisco's ass. They whooped some badass teams this year, and then they came out the way they came out. It just didn't make any sense to me.
Alex, they whooped 9, I think 9 playoff or 9 500 plus teams by 14 plus all season long, right? Like they dominated this year, and it's just insane to me that they got away from the run game. Alex, did you have flashbacks, right, of watching this game and you're like, these receivers can't separate? The coaching staff is making my, dual threat quarterback, only a single threat quarterback. You feel like it was kind of like Justin Fields-esque almost, like kind of what you've seen all the last few years. It's like they made him into what he's not in this performance, and his players, other than Zay Flowers, couldn't separate for shit.
Yeah, I was looking at Twitter or X, and of course, mine is mostly like Chicago fans and all that, and they were saying this is why you have to trade the number 1 pick because look, Lamar can't do it in the pocket or anything. No, not that. It's just that Lamar's greatest thing that he can give to his team is able to break away, use his legs, essentially use the sprint out pass, the read options, the triple options, the RPOs, etc. And they weren't using it and not to say that he's not a pocket passer, but why just limit him when he could put you're making it easier on the defense by doing that.
Exactly.
And they like Jeff said, they basically just outsmarted themselves. I think they thought maybe if we just keep them in the pocket, they're gonna keep sending blitzes and we'll be able to get the ball out. Receivers will have more space. I don't know, man.
I think Marco is on the chat right now, and he said Ravens played emotional game, lack of playoff experience. Think the Ravens tried to play the Chiefs game instead of staying true to their identity. And that's absolutely correct. I agree with that. Go ahead, Alex.
And not to we're saying, man, the Ravens they basically gave this to Kansas City by not playing their way, but I don't want to take anything from what Kansas City did because I think Andy not so much what Patrick Mahomes has done this playoff run. I think as a whole team, this team looks because to tell you the truth, I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate, but I really don't think Patrick Mahomes has played great in this playoffs. I think this team has finally gelled together. Like the running game has helped out Travis Kelce a lot, and the defense has Patrick Mahomes doesn't need to be Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean?
Okay,
this is probably the first time where Kansas City could honestly be you know what, my defense can make a stop, and we can we'll probably put up 17 points and we'll still win this game. What
Well,
happened? What happened this week? Which is to me that's a scary team.
yeah.
If Patrick Mahomes doesn't have to be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Mahomes has thrown over for 700 yards with 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. He's played a very good, like in some ways, I've heard in some places like managerial games, right? Like he's been kind of like
Yeah,
he doesn't have to play the risky, games. He's been managing his games very well, and I think that's a good thing. Another aspect to this the Chiefs team as well is that they've benched Kadarius Toney for the last month, and I know he was venting on
has done
Instagram Live.
wonders.
Yeah, he's complaining that he's not hurt or whatever. Like, first of all, Kadarius, you have 160 yards total, receiving this year with 1 touchdown. You got no place to talk, bro. If they don't want you playing and they're succeeding, then shut the hell up, like dead ass. Like they're saying that you're hurt to save you, so that way when you go to a new team, like, hey, maybe you get a fresh start. You out here embarrassing yourself, man. But no, man, I think this Chiefs team is doing wonders. Again, Spagnuolo doing what he does best with his defense, right? It's not always the top 10 defense. This year is a different story, but when it's time to show up, they've really shown up in these postseasons ever since they acquired him. And I believe that was the 2019 season, the first year they got the title. Ever since they got him, like he's been spectacular for them. He's really elevated that defense up. And that's just a benefits of having a smart-minded defensive coordinator like that. Travis Kelce.
One thing.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, one thing I take away from like this defense, which is really remarkable, is that dude they gave up like over 250 something yards in the second half and only gave up 7 points. Dude, that is crazy. You know how tired your defense is gonna be, like
Yeah.
moving up and down the field, and you only give up 7 points. That is crazy. Like that's number one. Like in the huddle or the locker room, like we bend but we don't break.
Yeah, man. I mean, give props also to L'Jarius Sneed, right? He got cooked on that 53-yard play by Zay Flowers. It was a broken play. Alex, you could explain more into that, why he was so wide open later. But, I mean, just to come back after the taunt, and then they're able to get back into the groove, and then, man, that punch out. I mean, again, Zay's rookie. You don't reach out. He's making these rookie mistakes, but I give props to Sneed for taking advantage of that and making things happen. But Alex, what did you see in those broken plays overall, like the touchdown to Zay and the 53-yarder to Zay? What did you see there?
I just think that there was just communication. With a lot of broken plays, you look back and you're like, well, what happened there? And there was a lot of like just oh man, my dogs.
I can hear.
Just not communicating to each other, and I think Sleep thought that he had over the top help, and then back and he kind of already figured out it was already kind of late, but to me, I think that punch reminded me more of the Charles Tillman peanut punch that became famous in Chicago, where he had a bunch of that was perfect, like the way he executed that. They have to be practicing that to be punching that ball like that, and Zay, man, that's Trey's boy. I didn't think he was gonna have a good year, and he went off this year. But yeah, man, it just sucks for him because he essentially left 7 points on the board on that one. And then the touchback rule, I don't know what's gonna happen. I think we were talking about this like 2 weeks ago on the thread. Like I think they might change it.
I hope not. I personally hope they don't.
But this one was recovered, right?
This is our recovery.
Yeah. But yeah, the other one where it goes out of bounds. I mean, I don't know that. To me, I don't know how they can change that rule because I mean that's just how it works, right? Like I don't know how they would be able to change that rule.
I mean, it's fair because if you think about it, like if you're reaching and the defense knocks it out, right? Like it's like how's it? How would the defense recover it other than it staying in bounds, right, and stuff like that? Yeah. Like you take the risk, and it's just like I know there's people like Mike Greenberg and other people that have been complaining they want the rule gone, but I'm like, nah, man, you can't take away everything from the defense, right? You've already limited them.
Yeah, you're handicapping them.
Yeah, so like you can't take away everything. Like this is like that's an important like value of the game. And before I go back to you, Jeff, real quick, Marco back on. He says, talked about it the last few weeks. Our defense is leading those to run, and Pat needs to make a few great plays, and Spags we trust. Yeah, man, absolutely. I already gave Spags his props. He's done amazing work. Jeff, in the last few weeks, we've seen Travis Kelsey become Travis Kelsey again, one of the
Mm-hmm.
best tight ends of all time. 23 receptions overall in the last 3 games. I want to say about 200, 260, 270 yards total with 3 touchdowns. I mean, we saw this game, right? Every target that went to him, it was perfect. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't drop a pass or anything like that. He even made some spectacular catches, especially over Kyle Hamilton, a great safety with the Baltimore Ravens, who didn't allow a touchdown essentially all year. And boom, in this game, we saw 1 touchdown there allowed. But talk to me about Travis Kelsey, man. How important is it for him to step up in these big moments for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs?
Yeah. Now it's almost unbelievable because yeah, it's like I said last week, you almost just have to stop Kelsey and that's it. But going back to Zay Flowers, it's funny. My brother-in-law sent me a prop bet. It was like a 16 parlay or whatever, and it was about Zay Flowers only having like 48 yards or something. And they wanted the under because KC plays like a 2 safety high look or some shit, and they're like he doesn't do good against that. And I was like, I was like, man, I like the other picks. I was like, but that one, man, like that's pretty much his only receiver that he got. He's gonna go. I think that one's bad. It should be the over. And sure enough, he has like 110 yards. And yeah, we doubted Casey and Kelsey. He looked like he's getting older, right? Looked like he wasn't gonna put up the production like he was, like he was being limited. And then boom, he turns it off for the playoffs. And you got to give it to the coaches too, designing the plays because yeah, he is covered and they are double teaming him and they're putting it in the little window that they can to get it to him. And of course, he runs correct routes. He's a big target and you got Patty to put it into those tight windows, right? Just like that touchdown. I mean, that was a little window that they put it in on that first drive. And then that's how they came, right? They came to kick ass. They scored on that first drive and set the tone. And it was just an amazing throw and an amazing catch, right? Unlike like Diggs, who who Allen put it in a tight window and just dropped it, right? Kelsey's gonna catch that ball. And
Yeah.
you can't doubt Kelsey, right? He's gonna come through. And right now, he's really the only target that they got, and they're gonna design something for Kelsey, and he's gonna come through with it.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Again, congratulations to the Chiefs, bro. 4 AFC championships in the last 6 years. Amazing work on their end. Ravens got to go back to the drawing board, see what's up. O line wasn't the greatest, but they also weren't the worst. I know that it felt like a lot of people were like, "Oh, they collapsed easily" and stuff like that. Like, no, there was times Lamar had chances. He held the ball too long, in my opinion, and he could have scrambled in those situations, but it is what it is. Love Lamar. I gotta give him the same, harsh critics that I give like Herbert and we give Allen and stuff like that. This was your moment to shine. This was the moment to shut up haters and stuff like that. You failed. Simple as that. You're gonna win your second MVP, but like Giannis, like Jokic, your 2 MVPs don't mean shit until you win the big one. And Lamar, we're gonna keep putting that pressure on you, man. You're a top 5 quarterback in this league in the regular season. Need you to do that during the playoffs. This postseason, 2-4 record. Your 4 losses are embarrassing losses. They're not good. We have he has a lot of fans, a lot of people that really are rooting for him, but he needs to step up in these big games. And this was a big one in a year where this is where people see the Chiefs at the lowest, at their weakest. You don't take advantage. It is what it is, man. But going to a game that went back and forth, essentially more it went forward a lot for the Lions, and they went back real quick into the reality. The San Francisco 49ers, Jeff, defeat Detroit Lions 34-31. It starts out big first half. The Lions start out 24-7. You think it's over. CJ Garner-Johnson is waving bye to the crowd already at halftime. But the Niners come back, bro. They destroy the Lions' hopes and dreams. What did you think of that game, man?
Man, that game was wild because yeah, when you go up 24-7 or whatever it was, you're like, damn, the Lions are really gonna do this, right? They came out fighting. They just came out fighting, man. And you're like, damn, San Francisco's defense has looked suspect. We've been talking about it. And in that first half, you're like, yeah, San Francisco's D, that did not look like them. Like usually they don't let that happen to them. 24 points like that. And then hats off to them in the second half. They fucking shut them down, you know. And they got that fumble from the Nutter rookie Gibbs of a big fumble. And it was just Detroit kind of did self-destruct a little bit, but San Francisco did come and play ball in that second half. And man, it was a mix of emotions. I wanted Detroit to do it. I was rooting for them just like everybody else. But in the back of my mind, I just didn't think they were on that level of San Francisco. And they were. They were right there with them, and with some better calls, maybe, you know, the way that Detroit was panicking. I get it. Dan Campbell always goes for it, right? And I know, Jose, you're real mad at Dan Campbell, and I get it, because 4th and 2 and things just aren't going your way. Take the damn points. You know, like, I get it. A lot of times you go for it, and the analytics say it's even better to go for it. But man, you got to read the game situation as well. And at that point in time, I think, like, you know, with the team not, like, you can't come up short. So, right, you got to take the points, right? You can't come up short. You can't not be scoring and then finally be an opportunity to at least get 3 up there and then to come away with nothing, right? So it was just, I think that you go for it a lot on those 4th downs, you know, with the new method of thinking and the new coaching. But in that situation, I think you got to take the points.
Alex, what's the main thing that stood out for you in this game, man? Because obviously you picked the Lions, you believed in the story, you believe in the wall that is their O-line, the trenches, and they look great, bro. They're about to back you and James up, you know, in that first half, and then that wall collapsed quickly, bro, in the second half. What stood out for you in this game?
Yeah, the first half, I just felt like they went with what was best, and that was the offensive line, right? They attacked the 49ers down the middle, basically just running the ball with David Montgomery. Williams getting one in the reverse. I really thought Williams was gonna be one of the key factors in this game with his speed, and we saw early on. Then second half, man, they just I don't know what happened. I think they just Ben Johnson just started doing some play calls more conservative, like trying to chew down the clock a little bit, you know. And I get it, you know, you're up by a lot and you want to chew down the clock, but yeah, man, I did not expect the 49ers to come out in a big way. Their offense is really designed to, like, you know, chew the clock down and then basically like work down the field and then get Debo the ball. Hopefully he breaks a play or so. But the way they exploded the second half was crazy. I'm like, damn. And this defense started bringing more pressure to Jared Goff, and that's why that wall started breaking down a little bit more. Once you start bringing more linebackers up to the line, the safeties, the offensive line has to communicate to each other, like yo, where's the protection sliding? Where's the running back sliding to? And they basically confused them, and that's why you saw Jared Goff get sacked a couple of times. I think what was big was that turnover in the third quarter.
Yeah,
basically just gave them 14 points within how many, like a minute and a half or something like that.
For like a minute 40 or something. Yeah,
that was quick.
Yeah, that was quick, and right away, they jumped up quick. The big factor to think was Brock Purdy, man. Brock Purdy shut everybody up. He used his legs. He used his arm. You know, granted, Vildor, I remember I talked to you guys saying, if they could just expose Vildor, then they'll be great. Vildor had one in his hand, like on his helmet, but basically just bounced off his head. And what's the name?
Brandon Ayuk.
Ayuk, yeah, caught a nice ball. Me and my brother were just talking about it, like, how the fuck does Vildor still on the team? Because you know, he played for the Bears, and we're like, bro, this guy's getting cooked. And then the first half, I'm like, damn, like they're not even attacking this guy. And then that ball hit him in the helmet. I was like, oh, it's a pick. And sure enough, it bounced off his helmet. But yeah, man, I think Brock Purdy played an excellent job, man. He played great.
Jeff, has Brock Purdy done enough to really establish himself as one of the guys, as a franchise guy? Because obviously he's Mr. Relevant, right? You know, and for whatever reason, we've heard the last few weeks, last few months, really, like he's been really critiqued because he's surrounded by a stout team. But sometimes it doesn't matter if you're surrounded by a stout team if you can't back that shit up, right? Like Jimmy G's had a stout team for the last couple of years, and he could never really back it up. Like, has Brock Purdy done enough to really elevate himself as the Niners franchise QB?
Man, it's a tough one, right? Because obviously he needs a lot of help, right? And right now he has a team with a lot of weapons and everybody's healthy, right? Right now, we said it last week when Debo went out, he struggled. But, he has Debo, he has Ayuk, he has that good O-line. And hats off to him. He did make some plays, right? That one where he escaped that sack and got that first down with Kittle. I think it was Kittle. If it wasn't, it was the other guy. But anyways, he made a lot of plays. Yeah, it was him. Yeah, and then at the end of the game, he's running. I think they said he almost had as many yards as Lamar Jackson on his feet, and usually, you see a little bit of that, but not as much as he did that game.
Yeah,
I think what it tells you about Brock is that, if he has the right pieces, he's good enough to get the job done. Is he going to struggle if they lose a couple of pieces and he doesn't have an all-star cast? I think he will, but I think what you can say about him is he obviously he is getting better. He comes up big in big games starting from last year, he just was thrown into the fire and he came up big. So I think that's what you want, right? He's a competitor. He's going to give you his all. And if he has the right team around him, he can do work. So if you have a quarterback like that, I think you would have to stick with him.
Alex, we've seen Brock Purdy and the Niners offense struggle the last two games, essentially with the Packers and Lions, right? Especially with the Lions, it's just the first half. They get down to a deficit, they come back. The Packers, they get down majority of the game until very last drive, and finally Brock Purdy looks good, and they're able to pull out the victory. Can the Niners afford to have a really bad start with the Chiefs in the Super Bowl?
I would say no, because the Kansas City Chiefs defense is playing at a different level, and you can't afford to make any mistakes, let alone try to play from behind with such a deficit. But I've seen what San Francisco has been doing in these deficits when they're down with the Green Bay Packers and the Lions. On those two games, I've noticed that they're actually letting Brock play his game instead of doing the scheme. You know what I mean? They're essentially letting him throw it down the field, use his feet, and it's kind of weird, right? Because you're like, man, why is he struggling so bad? The first 15 plays are all scripted, and then they start going off script, and he starts looking good. It's just that I don't know. I don't think they could afford with this Kansas City defense playing at a high level. I think the 49ers defense have been playing really
mediocre, in my opinion.
Mediocre, yes, and I think they can afford to play bad, because even though Patty isn't putting up 30 points like he was in years past, this defense, if they could score 13, 17 points, and I still think they could win. So yeah, you can't afford to make any mistakes against that defense.
I'm gonna ask you both this, and whoever wants to go first can go first. Who needs this Super Bowl win more? The Chiefs and their dynasty, as well as Mahomes, in the GOAT debate, or Brock Purdy, who was Mr. Irrelevant, who's trying to fight and say that he is worthy of being the quarterback of the future. Who do you think that needs this win more in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I guess I'll take a shot. I mean, yeah, of course. You want to go, Alex?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
It's not another guys you name, but I'm gonna say Kyle Shanahan, and I guess you could say Brock Purdy too, but I'll go Kyle Shanahan because he took this 49er team and they were really bad whenever he took over. Him and Lynch started bringing the players that would fit his scheme. They ended up making the Super Bowl in 2008. Was it 18 or 19?
19.
And they had a lead against the Kansas City Chiefs, which I think that Chiefs offense was a lot better, and they let him come back, or not come back, but I mean,
Yeah, they had a
how do I say
10-point
like
lead, and
10-point lead
then
in the
yeah,
fourth.
they let them come back. You're not wrong.
then and that defense was really good. I think that defense was better at that time than it was this time go around. So like, yeah, I think Kyle Shanahan needs this game more now. With like how you said, not the one of the best years Patrick Mahomes has put up. You have to. This is your time to get them, basically, while they're down. Even though if you're not looking at the defense side of the ball, that defense is really good. But yeah, I think it's Kyle Shanahan's um, game to win. He needs this one. Not to take any. I mean, yes, we want to build a dynasty with Kansas City, but I think Kyle Shanahan really needs this one.
Jeff?
Yeah, so if you're a big Patty Mahomes fan and you're hoping that he's the new GOAT and keeping up with Tom Brady, Patty needs this more, right? Like just to keep up with Brady's pace at the same time or whatever. But let's be for real. To me, San Francisco needs it more, right? They made the Super Bowl, and I had to look it up. Like I was like, man, who was the quarterback again? Back with Colin Kaepernick, right?
Yeah.
And they were on the I can't remember, it was like the 10-yard line, 15-yard line. If they score, they win the Super Bowl. Of course, Ray Lewis's defense holds up, and the Ravens beat them, right? And then, this is a rematch. They like what Alex said, and I think it was 2020, right?
It happened in 2020. It was the 2019 season. But yes,
okay, 2019 season. And, San Francisco's up, right, by 10. I remember watching that game with my brother, and I think he had money on KC. And he was just like in the it was over. I think it was down to like 6 minutes or something. And boom, Patty turns it on. It was something crazy. And they take that game. It was just crazy. And so yeah, San Francisco lost again. And we all saw how many times San Francisco was in the NFC Championship. They've been there. They lost last year with Brock getting hurt. San Francisco, if I was a fan, I was like, damn, they need that win. And I started, it's a rematch. I was thinking about it. I was like, man, they're going to be hungry, right? Like Kittle was on that team. There's a couple players on that team that were on that 2020 team. But of course, that 2020 team was with Jimmy Garoppolo. Now they got Brock, and now they got McCaffrey. And man, if they don't get it done this time, it's almost like the Ravens, right? It's like, damn, when are you going to get it done? And they're going to be angry, hungry. I think the coaching's going to be angry and hungry. And of course, I'm hoping we're not doing predictions until next week. And of course, the easy pick is KC. But I think it's gonna be a real fight. It's weird. If Ravens are there, it would be easy to pick the Ravens, right? But now that it's a rematch and there's that blood and Kyle needs that win so bad because everybody says he needs to win one, right? He needs to win it with that team because everybody talks so much about, they give him praise for what he's done. It's a new style of football with his new coaching. You got Mike McDaniel off that tree. They talk shit about him that it's not working. So I think for sure San Francisco needs it way more than KC.
For sure. We won't do predictions till next week. I want to get the whole crew in here to really delve in and get their thoughts on it. Obviously, injury reports coming out of these games. We want to be sure who is more healthy, who's looking, because some things could be a big factor, man. We shall see. But I agree. San Francisco probably does need it more. Kyle Shanahan has been very close in the last decade to win 2 Super Bowls, one as an offensive coordinator with the Atlanta Falcons, the other as the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
And so he's had those opportunities to really solidify his status, right? Like that was one thing with Sean McVay, right? Like everyone's like, oh, he's a young hype guy, but when he starts losing, he kind of wants to run away and go be a host on a network and talk sports instead of coaching it. But he got his title and he's still sticking around and doing his thing. Kind of Shanahan kind of wants to do that same thing as far as he wants to solidify his career, right? He's living off his dad's shadow, Mike Shanahan, who was a very successful head coach himself. For the Kansas City Chiefs, man, obviously Patrick Mahomes, is chasing, the GOAT. He's chasing Tom Brady. Andy Reid is chasing Bill Belichick. Travis Kelce, you could argue he is chasing Gronk still. Even though a lot of people will probably already have Kelce above Gronk, depending on who you ask. But overall, man, I just think that we're going to have not the Super Bowl we wanted, but it's going to be a fun Super Bowl regardless. I think as not giving an official score, because that's next week I'm going to ask you for your winner and an official score. I'm gonna believe this is a low scoring game, to be honest with you, just because of what I've seen with these two teams the last couple of weeks. So that's just an early nugget there. But we can
prepare.
Yeah, but just real quick before we move on completely. Going back to what you said, Jeff, about like how I felt about Dan Campbell's decisions in the text thread. Dan Campbell, and I don't know how you feel, Alex. I don't know if you agreed that Dan Campbell's decision or not, but for me, it's just like I understand this got you to the dance, right? I understand this got you far. This got you a division title. It got you the conference championship. But sometimes, man, you need to get your own head out of your own ass, right? And just take some points and get your team even farther. Because you said in the press conference afterwards, you can't guarantee that this team will ever be back again. You never know. Like, it's very rare, right? Because there's no guarantee that Kyle Shanahan and the Niners are going to be back. You know what Mahomes and the Chiefs are doing? It's rare. Not everyone does that. And it's the same with Brady and the Patriots. Not everyone does that. There could be gaps where they never go back again. You saw that for 10 years with the Brady and Belichick crew. You saw with Big Ben and Tomlin, they never went back again after winning the title to really like becoming a threat again. Rodgers, as talented as he is, never got back to the big one. And so you got to take advantage of these opportunities. And that, for me, that's just how I feel about Dan Campbell. Is just like, my man, look at the score at the end, right? You lost by 3. You take those 2 field goal kicks, you win by 3, right? And we never know, I forgot what the butterfly effect, what your decision could have decided other things. Your kicker might have missed, whatever. At least I know if your kicker missed, I can put on the kicker. I don't want it to be on the coach. The coach, he did so well, man. He did so well to get this far, to motivate his team, right? The how fortunate they were to like they overcame Matt Stafford's shadow. They, instead of facing the Cowboys in the second round, they got to face the Bucks. And I'm not to say the Bucks suck because I picked them to win the game anyways, but like that's a better team to face off than the Dallas Cowboys, in my opinion, right? And so you're fortunate. You're fortunate. You've done the work to get here, and you're about to win, and you blow it. So, I mean, before we move off, Alex, what did you think of the Dan Campbell decisions?
Well, I think a lot of us in the pod would agree that they surprised a lot of us by like you said, like a lot of people picked the Bucks or the Rams. They picked the Rams over them, and they picked the Bucks, and then they essentially should have beat the 49ers this week. But
Yeah,
I put it like if I was in the shoes of the players, I would not like say like, well, yeah, we should have kicked a field goal to like basically to tie it. We as a team, you should have said like, well, man, we should have never put the coach in that situation, or to for him to be in that situation where, okay, he needs to kick a field goal or go for it. No, you're up by a lot, and like you said, butterfly effect. A lot of stuff happened before to even get to that point. And Dan Campbell, we've seen it before. The first year he's been there, he's been this guy where he's gonna go for it, he's gonna ride, and I don't think I know a lot of fans are upset, but I could probably like say right now like 100% of that team agreed with that decision because the way he is and then the way the team rides. I like how he came out in the press conference though, saying that we probably won't be back. Basically saying like it was kind of his fault for going for it, and he don't know if his team's gonna go back. That's a coach that's taking accountability about what decision he made, and he knew he messed up. But I don't know, man. I'm 50-50. I like him. Whenever he was on Hard Knocks, I remember telling you guys like this Detroit team is going to be one team to watch. And then last year they go on a hot streak. Before even that, people already wanted him gone and wanted him out of there because I think they started 1-6.
yeah.
So I mean, yeah, man. Me and my brother were talking about it today too. But like, man, I'll tell you the truth, I don't even know if they'll be back next year because the NFC North is going to be a little bit better. Green Bay's coming up. Chicago might be better. I think if Minnesota keeps Kirk, they still have a chance to win the division.
Yeah.
And it's going to be tough for Detroit to do it again.
Yeah, you're not wrong, man. Packers might are gonna get a new DC because they let go of Joe
Yeah.
Barry, but I know Yair might not be back, so that's in limbo. Like you said, Minnesota, we don't know what they're gonna do. Are they gonna go for a big time quarterback? Are they gonna keep Kirk? What are they gonna do? They gotta re-sign Jay Jettis. I thought you don't want to lose that guy. Bears, they might get a new quarterback. Just got you. No, I'm just kidding. I know that's still swirling out there. I know Alex does not want to hear it, but I know that's still swirling out there. But if you keep Justin Fields and they get a new weapon for him or and strengthen up that O line, you're right. It's going to be a whole different animal. But I think the biggest key for the Lions, we found out today, is that Ben Johnson, their OC, is going to stick around. He's not taking the commander's job. He's not going anywhere. So that might be a thing too, that this team is might be as strong or even stronger. It's going to be a tougher schedule next year, that's for sure. Since they were first place and they're going to have a first place schedule. So we'll see how that goes. But moving on, Jeff, I know I asked you for a top 10 wide receiver regular season list.
Yep, I got it right here.
All right, let me give you the intro.
Okay.
TikTok. Jeff, please give us your top 10 regular season. Yeah, this shit, bro. Again,
getting nervous for TikTok.
Woo, I might be getting strapped, bro. I mean, it's just, all right. Jeff, give us your top 10 regular season wide receiver list.
All right, y'all ready? Starting with number 10. Y'all can talk about my snubs. I'm not going to list them. But on number 10, I wanted to give some love to the Houston Texans. This guy, I think he was like number 10 in receiving yards. I'm going to go with Nico Collins as number 10. And I snubbed one guy out of that spot, but it's because he had too many drop passes. That's what got him out. I just wanted to show some love to the Houston Texans. Number 9, I got Amari Cooper at number 9. He came through, had 3 different quarterbacks. He might even had more, and he just kept coming through. He had a couple bad games in there, but for the most part, that dude comes through no matter who his quarterback is, and that's pretty impressive. At number 8, I got Ayuk. He started off the season as San Francisco's best receiver, and then he kind of trail off there. But just like he came up big with that amazing catch with that PI, caught the batted ball off the guy's helmet. I got to put him at number 8. At number 7, I got AJ Brown. That dude, he's doing work. That locker room fell apart. I don't know what happened. He was still mad, even though they had turned it around with him, getting him more yards, more numbers, more touchdowns. But A.J. Brown's a bad boy. You got to go with him. At number 6, I got Keenan Allen. I talked shit about him last year. He had a couple of 2 injury-ridden seasons, and they were even that bad injury, but, where he only played like 9 games or whatever. Man, was I wrong. This dude came back with a vengeance this year, healthy all year, and put up some damn numbers. He had a real good season. And then number 5, I almost had him at number 6, but for being a rook, I gave him a little extra credit. Puka Nacua at number 5. To do what he did his rookie season with all them yards, it was just amazing. And even after he became like a guy, he would still put it up. Cooper was hurt most of the year, was banged up for sure, and this guy came up big. Number 4, Amon St. Brown. For sure, I was wrong about this guy. For sure, under my radar. Man, he came through. Detroit well-ran team, and they would get him the ball, and he would score touchdowns for him. Number 3, he could have been number 2. I didn't take injuries into consideration, but I'm gonna give 3 to CD Lamb. I know I'm a Cowboys guy, and you got to give him extra credit with Dak as his quarterback. But CD Lamb, I did have him at 2, and then I switched it last second. I was debating my top 3, but I put him at number 3. Number 2, he was hurt for most of the year, but when he was in, I didn't put injury into accountability. I still think Justin Jefferson's the number 2 receiver, barring an injury, right? I got him at number 2. I guess if you're going for just this season, since he got hurt, he didn't play the last 6-7 games.
He missed like 7 in the middle of the season. Yeah, 7 or 8.
I mean, I get it, but man, the beginning of the season when he was healthy, it was like I couldn't put him at number 3. I had to keep him at number 2, and then of course at number 1, and he even got injured. Was playing injured ball. I got Tyreek Hill as my number 1 receiver.
Bro.
CeeDee Lamb did go off. I mean, CeeDee Lamb was in a lot of people top 10 this year, and in the B top 3, you got to give him love.
Top 3, bro. You could have made the argument he was number 1. I'll be like, wow.
I know. He was he number 1 in receiving yards.
He was number 2. He just 50 behind Tyreek.
Yeah, so it's impressive. He's right there. He's right there.
Yo, Alex, how you feel about DJ Moore getting snubbed, bro?
I was about to say that, man. I was like, wait a minute. How are you gonna put Nico in there and not put DJ?
So the snubs are Mike Evans and Moore. And who?
Damn. And like I feel like DJ Moore had a better season than Ayuk, and some will argue that him and St. Brown had kind of the similar stats. Now I do get that.
I'll give St. Moore the St. Brown won that one, bro. The Monroe was better than DJ this year, hands down in my opinion.
DJ had less receptions and less balls thrown to him, but he did go over. I think he has best season in his career. I think he had 8 touchdowns receiving and then 1 rushing, which is
he was top 10 in receiving yards. And I ain't gonna lie, I didn't watch Chicago too much. That probably played into it. When I saw him in top 10 in receiving yards, I was like, oh shit. But I looked at like gameplay. Nico missed some time. Games played or whatever, and I was like, I'm gonna snub him and make Alex mad.
So Jeff, give me your list one more time, real quick.
So Nico Collins at number 10, 9 Amari Cooper, 8 Ayuk, 7 AJ Brown, 6 Keenan Allen, 5 Puka Nacua, 4 Amon St. Brown, 3 CeeDee Lamb, 2 Justin Jefferson, and 1 Tyreek Hill.
All right, my problem there is you do have to take out Nico, but you could not leave out Mike Evans. Dead ass Mike.
I told you. So Mike Evans was actually at my number 9, but he dropped too many. He dropped too many of Baker's passes. He got to keep those drops down.
He did have some big drops. He had some big drops.
And even in the playoffs, but even before that dude likes to fucking drop the ball. But yeah, he was in there, but I was like,
but he tied with Hill with the most touchdowns for a receiver this year, bro. Like, come on.
No, you know what? He can't be top 10 if his quarterback's not top 10, because Marco didn't want to put Baker in top 10 either.
Marco isn't here, bro. I don't give a fuck what his opinion is. Like, we're talking about Mike Evans, bro. Mr. 1K. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But all right, Jeff. All right. I mean, that's your list. I mean, respect it as is. All right. Guys, there's not really much more I want to talk about. Obviously, we could do some games and stuff like that, but I feel like it's not as fun with a little more people here.
Yeah, for sure, especially the games.
Is there anything going on in sports world, like NBA or something like y'all want to talk about, like something that stood out for y'all this week or anything lately?
Oh, I have the All-Star NBA All-Star games coming up, and I wanted to hear your thoughts on Curry not being a starter. And I was gonna say too, why, like, out of that group of the starters, I would argue that LeBron would be over Curry, but then they just had one of the craziest games to go down.
Oh yeah, the back and forth, bro.
Yeah.
So
I was like, damn, dude.
So for me, I mean, Braun obviously got for the forwards, right? Like he was the number 1 vote again. Like there's no question. And obviously, the coaches and everyone that votes on top of that, media and coaches, all said Braun deserved the number 1 spot for West. Braun is still. Sorry, Alex and Jeff, he's still a top 10 player today. Gosh, I'm sorry that you don't like that
I-
narrative, but he is there.
I put him at top 10 coming into the year.
Okay, but are you feeling? Yeah, but remember a week after you were like, you know
Yeah.
what, guys, you right. Like SGA is top 10. You're real quick to take him
Yeah.
off the next week. So, no, but I was gonna say Braun deserved this spot. Honestly, man, I'm actually happy they got it right. SGA and Luca have been playing much better than Steph
Yeah.
this year. Steph is a very talented guy, going to be a top 10 all-time player.
Mhm.
But this year, because his team has failed them and he can't elevate for their stupid mistakes, right? Clay's heavily regression, Draymond's stupid antics, bad coaching by Steve Kerr. He can't save them from that. Luca is carrying this Dallas team once again. Obviously, he's not the best defensive player out there, right? But what he does on the offensive side, bro, you just saw it 73 points the other day. Like, this dude's a monster. He's averaging 40 points a game this month. Like, he's just been on a tear. And SGA, bro, he's been consistently outshining all the point guards in the league right now. You could argue Luka and him are MVP favorites. Embiid's probably not going to get it. He's probably going to miss 10 more games, to be honest with you, for the season, so he won't qualify. But they got it right. Like, these are the two best guards right now in the league. And so I'm glad that wasn't the snub we got here. Now, on the other side, people are mad. Dame apparently was not supposed to be a starter over Jalen Brunson. And I cannot disagree with that because Jalen Brunson is doing work with the Knicks and Dame is not, it's his first time being the number 2 on a team. They fired the head coach. They brought in Doc Rivers. The team's not the greatest defensive. I think they went from 4th to 21st or something like that. Like their defense has been lackluster, and Dame's part of the problem. So I can understand that anger about the snub.
And it's crazy too because Jalen Brunson going to New York. Stephen A was like one of the ones that didn't was saying well, we're not going to be good with Jalen Brunson, this and that, and then they had a pretty good year last year, and then people were still saying, well, I don't think they're going to be able to repeat it. Well, they're having even a better year, and Brunson is the main guy. Before he went there, Julius Randle was going to be the Batman, and Brunson was going to be the Robin to him. And man, that has changed quickly whenever he got there. And man, it's crazy. He's a smaller guard, and he does deserve to be a starter over Dame.
All right, so we know who the starters are, right? And just real quick, I'll say it out there. For the East, it's Halliburton, Dame, Giannis, Tatum, and Embiid. For the West, it's Luka, SGA, Durant, and Braun, and Jokic as well. Who would you like to see being called up as all-star reserves? Or, I mean, like the bench, essentially.
Damn.
Jalen really Brunson's one. I think Jalen Brunson deserves that nod.
He's going to be there.
Edwards, right, for Minnesota?
Anthony Edwards, absolutely.
Anthony Edwards, yeah, he'll be there.
I think for what he's done for the team, it might be a long shot. Alperen Sengun for the Rockets. Emes really put it on his back to carry this team, right? Moving it from Jalen Green to him, recognizing that this guy is who we should put our focus on as our centerpiece. I think that he should get the nod if there's not many bigs they want to go with, because I think Rudy Gobert might get it just for his defensive prowess. I don't think Cat will get it. I think Cat will get ignored, and as he should. He sucks. Respectfully, he sucks. Y'all want Jimmy buckets in there? Do you think Jimmy's been playing good enough to really solidify it? I know they're on a 7-game losing streak.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Them getting rid of Laurie and getting Terry should be a boost up, but I don't know that Miami team is, to me, is kind of like a roller coaster. You know who I would like, non-biased, but I would really like to see Alex Caruso.
Nah, respectfully, I was gonna say Kobe White.
Even though
deserves
his
it more.
points,
I was gonna say
well,
Kobe
maybe
White deserves it more than him.
a defensive team for Alex Caruso would be perfect. I think for him.
Yeah,
Like,
but that's for the
else.
end of the end of the year, not an all-star thing. I think Kobe White is the one that's really like stepped up for y'all.
Yeah, he's been elevated.
Would y'all put Kawhi in for the West? I know he hasn't really missed much actually this year.
Yeah, he's playing good.
Kawhi playing good. Even James Harden's been playing really good too.
And I would go with Booker, right? Booker should be in there. Booker's been going to work.
Booker's doing his thing on his side.
What about Murray from Atlanta?
DeJounte?
Yeah, that I saw. I think they said his name was being thrown around, him and Young.
Okay, Trae Young, I can understand, not DeJounte. DeJounte has, since he left the Spurs, his defense has fallen off bad. And it's sad to say. I don't know if it's the lack of coaching. You know, I know he's got 2 head coaches in Atlanta since he's left. But like I don't know what's going on. And I know he made a rant on Twitter saying, I can't really defend today like I used to or whatever because of the rules and stuff. Like, that's not true. You're just being soft and weak. That's a weak mindset. You know it, Dante.
Derek, Fox.
If you gotta pick one king, if you're picking guards, right? I mean, I think they're gonna get like 5 only, and so if you think about the guards that you would put out there, so you already have SJ and Luka, you're gonna get Steph in there. Anthony Edwards is one. What's another guard that's like? I feel like I'm missing somebody. Let me look. No, I think
is Booker a guard?
Yeah, he's their point guard technically, or I guess Bradley Beal, one of them. But so that's 5. So if you want to put an extra guard in there, it would be Fox.
Yeah.
After that, you don't no more guards.
You think? Oh, Maxey deserves to be also for the East. You think Kyrie Irving's name would be thrown around too because of fan voting?
Well, the fan voting won't matter now. They don't matter. They don't matter for the bench.
Right? Yeah.
So it only matters for the starting 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like even though Wemby was a top 10 like forward or center or whatever, he's not going to get it unless the coach wants him in there.
The coaches.
And I don't think the coaches would put Wemby in there. So as far as fun as it's spectacular. Okay, now would you put Chet in there? If you're a coach, would you put Chet in there? I know he's on a winning team, so that's one of the boosts that he's getting. But would you, if you're not going to put Wemby in, would you put Chet in there?
I mean, I don't know. Wemby has the better numbers, but yeah, Chet's on the better team. So yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't put neither of them.
Okay.
And then they got them in the Rising All Stars already, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch that this year. Yeah.
Are they gonna be on the same team?
I don't know how that works. Does it work
no,
East and West?
No, because I think it's World versus US. I think now. So I think he'll be playing for the World. I think that's how it plays out.
I remember. Yeah, I remember a year they did that.
Yeah, and one year they did freshmen versus rooks versus sophomores.
Mm-hmm.
That's like I kind of want to see, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that used to be fun.
Paulo and Paulo versus Chet and Wemby.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, those are the rooks, brother. The young kids coming up. I swear, a lot of fun. Okay, that's some good shit. Maybe once they figure out who the rest of the guys are, maybe we can split up in teams and we could do our own little draft.
Yeah, cool.
Once they figure out who the reserves are. Julius Randle, would you put Randle in the East?
I probably wouldn't.
He's going. I think to me, like,
well, he's hurt. He's gonna miss it. He's gonna miss it either way. But would you put him in there if he was available?
He was playing pretty good. I think was it last month? Before this month, he was putting up some good numbers. But then, I think his game started going down a little bit. But yeah, he was playing pretty good at the beginning of the year.
Donovan Mitchell's probably going to get one. Jalen Brunson, the second highest paid player in the league, is going to get a spot. All right, Jeff, your favorite player, Jalen Brown?
Jalen Brown.
Derek, go ahead.
They're saying Derek White, but they said he's been playing bad the past couple of games, and I don't know.
Bro, who Derek White? He went off, he was going off right now.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
because
Derek White
had
deserves a
15
spot
points.
so much.
Damn, that's
in the
good.
first quarter. 15 points in the first quarter. Yeah,
Jeff,
he wants that spot.
Would you put in Porzingis in?
Oh man, I don't know. Porzingis been playing pretty good for them.
He's averaging 19 points a game, and he's been really big on the defensive side. Surprisingly, right? Because before the season, I thought that was going to be their weakness, was their defenses, other than Drew, right? But Porzingis really stepped up, and Drew, and with Derek White, what the best tandem guards out there. So, Jeff, we want Derek White back, right? I mean, I'm just saying.
Shit, I'll take him back. That's what I wanted to say. That I think it was Saturday night, right? I was watching them games on mute. My daughter stayed up all late. But that Spurs and Minnesota game was fun. The Spurs went down, and then they came back, and it was nice. Anthony Edwards going crazy. Karl Anthony Towns trying to take a step back three for the win. It was just horrible. But that was a fun game. And then I saw that Golden State and Lakers was close. And I put it on there and ends up going to 2 overtimes. Clay hitting, a shot to go to, I think that was second overtime or something. Steph hitting that other 3 to go to overtime. That was fun. And they're even saying, man, we just keep getting better and better, talking about Steph versus LeBron. But man, I don't know how many more they got those left in them. Clay looks like, man, he just even. I'm not the biggest Golden State fan, but it is sad watching Clay move out there and seemed like really all he can do is shoot 3, so he fucking chunks them up there. He shoots so much, it's crazy.
Do y'all think it's time to break up the Warrior Big Three?
I would.
I was talking to Javi, because Javi's a big Warriors fan, and he was saying like what messed up the Warriors was not letting these young players develop right. They shipped off a couple young guys on their team. Granted, Poole doesn't look good in Washington, but Poole would have been good with this team. I know that Green and him had their differences there, but man, I think they had a poor job of developing. Javi is right, developing young players.
The young talent.
I think what's his name? Kemba? How do you pronounce it?
Kaminga.
Kaminga.
He can go off.
To me, but it was at one point it was getting kind of scared because they weren't even giving him minutes, and weren't letting him play. And still now, he has to adapt his game to what Curry and Draymond and them. Well, granted, Curry is like you said, one of the best players in the league, but let him shine too because he could play, he could ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they said that. I was like, man, Draymond. I'm not the big Draymond fan, but y'all know he was plus 31 on Saturday, plus 31. So Clay, I would have keep Clay if it's on the hometown discount, a big one, because he's not what he was, and he does want some money. So if he wants some money, I would let Clay walk. He just ain't the same, right? I mean, it sucks, but don't overpay him because they're not gonna do much with that team. If they got him at a decent price to come off the bench or something, okay. But if he's demanding money, he still thinks he wants some money, then he's I'll let him walk. Keep Draymond and Steph, and they gotta get some a little bit more help. But I agree with you. When they got rid of Poole, I thought they're just gonna stick to their guns and ride it out. And I thought that was a bad decision.
You probably want to let go of Wiggins.
Right? Just like the Spurs, whenever you knew Manu's time was gonna be limited in going to the bench, he took that role. They were able to bring young guys. Patty started.
That's not why we put him on the bench.
Well, because it was more because his game was more better with him coming off the bench. Well, because they had Kawhi already, and he looked well at the later whenever the Kawhi was coming, and they had young players like Danny Green. Danny Green was a little bit better than Manu at the defense, and he wasn't going to take away shots from Tim or from Tony or from Kawhi Leonard at that time. So if Clay wants to be the number one on the second team, I think it would be perfect. But yeah, it sounds like Clay wants a big deal, right?
Contract, yeah.
He thinks he's still worth the value for what he did in the past, but that's not the case here.
Mm-hmm.
For me, like I don't think Clay sees the bigger picture. He's got that for whatever reason he's making himself have a chip on his shoulder, like he's getting like shunned for whatever reason. I was talking to my buddy Mike, and we've talked about this a few times because we game a lot on the Xbox, and we were talking about how like. I thought it was a huge mistake to let go Poole, right? Because Poole looks like ass when he's the first or second option on the Wizards, but when he was a fourth, fifth option with the Warriors, that was where he flourished. You fail on a bust like Wiseman as your second overall pick in what was it 2019, 2020, the same year LaMelo came out. Who else came out that year that was freaking like balling that? Whatever. But they could have walked away with LaMelo. I know Ant was out of the question because he was the first overall pick, but you could have gotten something like LaMelo and really like groomed him for the future. Because imagine him right now, LaMelo, barring any injuries, right? He's very injury prone. But imagine LaMelo and Steph right now with a bully like Draymond. Draymond is a player that, excuse me, he's a bully. You keep him around, he's gonna do shit. But if you have to choose really between like Draymond and Poole for the future, while you have Steph still in whatever little prime he has left in him, you kind of probably want to go with Poole just because you want to look for the future. Draymond's getting older, his shot selections. He's smart enough to know not to take too many shots, but this whole thing that he's been doing this year has just been a bad look. It's been a bad look overall. This whole chokehold, stomping, punching, whatever you want to call it, everything he did so far in the last 2 years, it's just you don't need it. And for the culture of the Warriors, what they built in the 2010s, it's just sad how far they have fallen, and the way they fallen, right? Because the Spurs kind of fell graciously, right? Okay, Timmy, you're done, retire. Okay, Manu, you're done, retire. Tony, have fun in Charlotte. Retired. Kawhi, what the fuck? Why did you leave us? Deport him. We didn't. I don't think we fell off that bad compared to how I feel like the Warriors is falling. And mind you, the Warriors were just champions 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it's because our guys were old, right? And Clay's an old, but he just had that season or that
back-to-back injury.
Just it's not and it's like he ain't gonna retire, right? So it's like. It's almost like, he thinks he still has some in the tank, so he's kind of like our Tony Parker. He's going to go somewhere else and try to do something,
Mm-hmm.
But, and then Steph, he's still young, like Steph's still a good player. It's just, he just needs a little bit more help. And, you got to keep Draymond on the court for that defense, right? Like, it sucks he's not a big offensive option anymore, but he is good on the defensive end, and he commands that defense, and that's why you keep him.
And I think Draymond too. You could essentially run the offense off of him with having him high, like a high four, and then setting picks or him being a ball handler, and you could have him, passing the ball to Steph or Clay when they're coming off screens, and that's perfect because he has high basketball IQ. By knowing the game and everything, man, it just sucks. I wish they never would have traded people. I think they still would have a solid team with him on the team.
No, they could have been competing.
I think that's what they're missing.
But you see now, right? Why I kind of was confident, or I was hopeful, right? Now that we're looking at it, the Spurs would be up there, right? Because you see these Western teams falling, right? These guys that were like top teams, like the Lakers, struggle, right? They're a 500 team right now. They might lose today, so they'll be under 500. The Warriors under 500. The Grizzlies, they don't have Ja. He was out, came back, looked good, out for the season. So there was a chance, in my opinion, that the Spurs could have done something. Obviously, the Spurs played like ass this year. It's Wemby, and that's it. We'll see what happens this season. We don't really gotta get into all that. Thunder, I predicted they'd be a top 4 team. I didn't know they'd be a top 1 team. Um, I think they. I hope they look good during the what's it called, the playoffs, because they don't have that experience. So we'll see how that goes for them. East, Boston's the only one that stands out. Really, I mean, Boston's got all the pieces that they should be able to win the title this year. I mean, really, what is gonna like? I really don't know what's gonna stop Boston from winning this year. Dead ass. I really don't.
Doc Rivers can turn it around.
Just,
they played a little better defense yesterday.
Yeah,
I
mean, he's more defensive. Yeah, we'll see.
He's not
the only team.
Yeah,
the only team that could stop Boston is Boston with their injuries. That's the only who's gonna be able to stop them. I know Porzingis got hurt, right?
Yeah, Jaylen Brown going left might be the thing that stops him.
Oh, were you in the game earlier today? They were talking about his hand. It looks like he's been going to the lab. He's finally got a lab.
He's trying, bro. He's trying.
He's been working on that lab.
He's like, am I really worth $60 million? Let me find out. Let me find out, bro. I mean, while we're on for just a little bit longer, Alex, how are you feeling about the hire right now for the passing game? They just hired Thomas. It was the OC for the freaking Panthers. Ah, my God. Hold on, look. Did you see that, Alex? The Bears hired somebody.
For their
Thomas Brown.
Coach?
Yeah, Thomas Brown, former Panthers OC, as their pass game coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to pick and choose what you see in film with the Panthers, because obviously they didn't have a good year. I thought Bryce Young actually throws with anticipation throughout the year. Just that, like I said, it doesn't look good. Like if you just look at the stats, but if you watch him play, Bryce Young actually throws with anticipation. Hopefully they can help Justin with that. I was kind of happy we didn't hire what's the name? What's that guy's name from Tech?
Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury. I don't like that. I like that we didn't hire him as our OC or even a QB coach, because I know Marco was really big on him with because obviously he was Tech. But the thing is too, like you saw what he did with Colin Murray, right? But the games become so static with him. They come so one dimensional whenever anywhere he went. They were so one dimensional. You went to Tech. You saw Tech. You put a Tech game on, and you saw freaking Patrick Mahomes throw for 50 times, 45 times, and then you saw whenever you put on the Arizona tape on, you would be mad because Murray wouldn't be using his feet as much. He'll be throwing it 30 times a game.
Kyler was fighting for his life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like that offensive
and Caleb, fucking they get Cliff Kingsbury and he regresses, right? So yes, so all the shit y'all been talking about Caleb, put it on Cliff Kingsbury, okay?
Mm-hmm. Hey, real quick, if y'all help me. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna change the subject, so go ahead, Alex. Go finish it off.
No, just like you just I think Ryan Poles knows what he's doing. I've been eyeing him since the Bears hired him, and he came into a shitty situation. Mm-hmm. He hit on Sweat, and we didn't get. I really wanted Chase Young because he's a big name, and then you put on the 49er film, and he's taking off plays in a playoff game. He's not running down the field chasing down a guy that's from like 3 feet away from him, and he could have made a tackle. He decides not to because he's taking plays off. So yeah, I believe in Ryan Poles. He obviously knows where how to like pick talent, pick coaches. So yeah, just gonna ride the wave with him.
I was gonna ask how y'all feel about. It looks like Bill Belichick's not gonna get hired this year.
That's insane.
How do you feel about that, Jeff?
I think it's weird. The thing I heard from Mina Kimes is that like Bill Belichick wants a lot of power, right? He just doesn't want to be the head coach. Supposedly in Atlanta, he wanted more power they're willing to give. And like if I was him, I would just like let me just be the head coach, like whatever. But yeah, like I guess that's the biggest thing for him is that he needs to find a team that will let him have total control. He wants to be like GM head coach. And I would think he wouldn't let that hold him back. But I guess that if that's true, if that's what the deal is, I would think like I would think like, man, if I was a team, I would want him as my coach. You know what I mean? Like, I would be like, like go ahead, But I just can't believe there's not a team out there, especially with all this coaching carousel that won't hire him. It just doesn't make sense.
And mind you, Falcons are the only ones that have interviewed him so far. So that's crazy that only they called for him. But Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, I remember whenever we're talking about it, whenever he got, or before he, I guess, left New England. I kind of saw this coming with a lot of teams not really calling for him. I thought because it was his age, right? Because a lot of teams that are looking for a coach are not built to win right now. To me, the only team was Seattle because that team is built to win right now and actually compete. With Atlanta, that team has a lot of young pieces, but I think they are a quarterback away. I was pretty sure they didn't hire him. And with the other team, I'm like, they're not going to hire him. Like, I don't think Commanders are going to hire him. Their guy was Ben Johnson from the get-go. That's why they haven't hired anybody because they thought he was going to come after this playoff. Because of course they can't announce it right when he's in the middle of a playoff run.
You can because that's D'Amico got hired. I think while didn't D'Amico get hired right before the NFC Championship game?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
I know they can't interview in person like if you're in the playoffs until like after a certain time. But you can hire them before that if you got an agreement, so you can hire them. So,
and I'm not trying to take anything from Bill. I mean, I like Jeff said, I would want him to coach the Bears too. But if you want to think about like development in a player or in a team culture or a locker room culture, how long is that going to last? You know what I mean? With how many more years do you got Bill?
I wonder if not maybe they were okay with giving him power, but I wonder when they asked him, who are you bringing in with you? Did that scare them? Like, did he say Matt Patricia? Did he say Joe Judge? Did he say Josh McDaniels? Did that scare them? Because we've seen how they've been since they've left New England.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wait a minute. These guys failed miserably. You saw Matt Patricia fail as a DC for the Eagles. You saw him fail as the OC for the Patriots. You saw him fail as the Lions head coach. You just saw Josh McDaniels embarrassingly fail in Vegas. Sorry. And then you saw Joe Judge fail in New England as the quarterback coach and the Giants head coach. So I wonder, because I've heard a rumor that said Matt Patricia doesn't want a new job until Bill gets hired.
Wow.
So I wonder if internally the Falcons interviewed him, they asked him who he's bringing him in, and he said those names, and they're like, we'll pass.
Yeah.
I wonder.
The thing is too, like when the coach gets, say Bill got the job in Atlanta, and you got a quarterback, maybe Daniels from this draft, right? So you pair him with Bill Belichick for say 3 years, and and they do good. They do awesome, and he has his own guys. So whenever Bill leaves, most of that coaching staff would go with him because the new regime would have to bring in their coach. The new head coach would bring in his own OC, his own DC, and you have a young Daniels. Let's just say Daniel's going to be your QB of the future on his second coaching within like the first 2 years, which is, I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to go one way with one thing, because with one you have one of the best head coaches to ever do it, and then the other, you're kind of playing with the future of the team by hiring him.
Jeff, how would you feel if after this year, right, another failed season? Let's just, throw it as a what if, right? If the Cowboys fail, it's Mike McCarthy's last year on his contract. They let him go, and they hire Bill Belichick, but he brings in those guys with him. How do you feel?
I can see why that would be a problem because, you want Bill, but do you want the luggage with them? I wouldn't want those guys. I wouldn't.
That's it, right? The garbage,
yeah,
the
I wouldn't
garbage
want
with
them.
him.
Yeah, like if he was gonna be like, pick a coordinator according to the team you got. Not I'm bringing my guys with me because I can see that being like, oh, we got Bill, but we got I didn't want those guys tagging along with them. So I can see that. And that's what happened. My bad. That's what I wanted to ask because I was looking about it earlier. Kellen Moore, he went with Philly, right?
Yes.
And did he get fired? I couldn't find him getting fired, or is it like
No.
hey, go find a job?
When they let go Brandon Staley, he got let go with it.
He did. I couldn't find the story. It's weird. I couldn't.
It's because they labeled it as just the coaching staff. They didn't label it as specifically him. Like the entire staff got rid
let
of.
Go. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Philly picked him up. Okay.
That's what I was saying. Like if Bill Belichick were to get the job in Atlanta, he brings in his own guys. Whenever he goes, the coaching staff is going to go with him too.
Yeah.
Because the new regime would have to come in.
How do you feel, Alex, about Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio being the new coordinators for Philadelphia?
I honestly think Jalen Hurts might digress with the Kellen Moore, because if you look at the play style,
it's not beneficial for him at all.
It doesn't.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
And then with the Vic, I think they hit it on the head with it. They're gonna have to make a few moves to fit his scheme, but I can see some of those players that they have come to that, like Carter, Jalen Carter. You really didn't hear too much of his name, but I think next year with Vic as a new DC, he's gonna dial up some stuff where he's like DN knows, and it's that defense gonna be good next year. Yeah, but with the Kellen Moore decision, I don't. That doesn't make no sense to me. You seen what he did with Dak. Dak led the league in interceptions.
Oh, dude, Herbert.
He did all right until like the first. Granted, Herbert got hurt, but Herbert was I think 11 touchdowns with one interception.
Herbert passing elevated, and Eckler died. Eckler got buried 6 feet under with fucking Kellen Moore. What are we doing? Like, I get that also Austin Eckler didn't help his case, right? Like, he didn't try as hard as he would because it's contract year and everything.
Yeah, it was a contract year, but he had that first good game and he got hurt and he came back and he just wasn't.
Kellen Moore did.
He was all right.
Yeah, he wasn't the number one. No, he wasn't the number one in that offense. Within Dallas, when Kellen Moore was in Dallas, Ezekiel Elliott looked okay, right? But he wasn't like
he wasn't like New England Zeke.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I get it because Zeke was already older whenever Kellen Moore took over the offense, but yeah, it kind of looks like he doesn't like the running game too much.
Yeah, he's a pass heavy.
And that's gonna be it's gonna suck so much because you still got Swift, you still got Jalen Hurts that could be a runner too, and I know they're gonna ban the brotherly shove, right? And it's just gonna be QB sneaks, but it's like you gotta be more than one dimensional, bro. Like we just saw like how freaking Lamar and them fell. Like you're really gonna limit Hurts in them, so. I really hope they fix the scheme over there and stuff like that. Nick Sirianni is going to get fired if this does not end well for them.
Yeah, yeah, and it's crazy because Nick Sirianni was getting blasted throughout the whole year for not using the running game. Like, I don't know if you guys saw it, but like there would be fans outside of.
Run the ball.
Run the ball.
Run the ball. And you get Kellen Moore, like Shit. I don't know what the decision was at that one, but I don't know, man. They could go south for them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Sirianni gets fired mid-season. I'm not lying. Like, I don't like that for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Like, it's just, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, no, he just had a Super Bowl, regression and stuff like that. No, this is bad. Like, the way they're doing these things right now, like, Vic Fangio's a good pickup, but Kellen Moore is just, you could have done so much better. But, guys, I think that's all I got for tonight. I mean, obviously, we had a lot to talk about with the playoffs and everything. And next week, we'll talk about Super Bowls and have some more games and stuff like that. But this was fun. We got
hell yeah.
We got out of the realm of some of the like basic things we talk about. The NBA talk was fun. This coaching carousel. Mike Vrabel, where are you going to get hired? I'm just saying, Seattle guys, call him. But anyways, guys, thank y'all for watching. Guys, thank you for joining us today. It's a lot of fun. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe on YouTube, guys. We are trying to hit our goal for 2 weeks from now. Alex, what's our goal? What's our goal, Alex?
I think 200 will be perfect. 200.
200. That's our goal now. We you decrease it by half. I mean, I gotta. Why? Why do we?
We gotta keep this thing going. I think 400 is crazy.
You don't want to take a break, dude? I mean, I got a 60 in the last 6 weeks. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm working here.
I think. I need
you to get. I need you to get all the Pleasanton involved and boom, click the subscribe button, Vato.
Yeah, I think if we stop, people are gonna message me like, "Hey, y'all need to do one like quick." I mean, a lot of people do listen.
Look, Jeff, I know you got fans because there are people that are always commenting, let's go, Jeff. But I need you to be getting more people to subscribe, Vato.
Get more. So how many do we have right now?
152.
And we're trying to get what was our original goal? 400?
So I said 400 so we can be like 100 for every year this pod's been up.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Alex is like, I don't want to take a break. 200. We can do that in 2 weeks.
Hey, how long have I been on?
You've been on for like the last 3 years.
Damn.
Jeff's only been here for like less than a year.
Yeah, I haven't even hit my 1 year.
Okay. So yeah, this is the first year of the whole team. We have a whole team, so I think 100 is good.
So you think 100?
It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Marco couldn't fucking get his people. I mean, he's an OG on this podcast. It comes up to Marco.
I know Marco probably will watch this later, or he's watching right now with the background. Marco, you have like 1,500 friends on Instagram and Facebook, or 5,000 fans, whatever it is. Promote that though. That's all I has.
Fucking young people.
I know they're thinking about the career. They're thinking about the careers in their future. What the fuck are they talking about, bro? It's about this non-profit podcast. No, we have good times though, so that's why I know Alex wants to keep going, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see. I'll think about it, Alex. We've got 2 more weeks. I'm trying to boost this up. I'm trying to put up shorts and YouTube stuff every day. I'm trying, but I'm a husband. I work, all day, every day. But all right. We'll see how it goes. But guys, like, share, subscribe, get us to 200, so at least Alex can convince me to keep going for a little bit longer. Without taking a sabbatical. I was just gonna take a sabbatical to the draft. I was just saying, because I know once the draft happens, and Jeff, if you're in town, we'll have it at your place because I don't know. Nobody wants to drive to fucking Trace.
Hell no.
He lives too damn far.
Yeah.
But if we have it, bro, I swear to God, Alex, the only reason we're gonna do it that episode first, if we do take a break, because I want to see your reaction if Drake May or Caleb Williams gets drafted, and I just want to see. I just want to see what your face will look like if that does happen. The Bears select Caleb Williams. That's gonna break you. That's gonna break you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Jack in the Box
for sure.
I'm gonna go Jack in the Box. I'm gonna go Jack in the Box and go crazy.
Go. Hey, hit James. He can take the hit. But all right, guys, thank you for watching, whether it's live or on demand. If you ever want to join the conversation, you want to debate with us, do it. Jeff's got a lot of topics y'all could debate about. Just saying, if you think you could debate anything, Jeff will tell you Kobe is not top 10. And that's you can really go side. You want to debate Alex? He says Tim Duncan's not top 10. You can go nuts here on this podcast. But guys, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Follow us at YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Puro Pinche Sports. Follow us on X/Twitter at Pinche Sports Pod. For the professor, Alex de la Cruz. For Jeff D, as in dog, Lujan. I almost said Garza. We are Puro Pinche Sports, and we are out. We know that D ain't for Dallas. That's been short as
Hell
fuck.
no, fuck no, it ain't.